Hello, my name is Luke Morley. I'm 18 years old and I love gaming. Ever since I was 5, and when I first got into gaming, I just couldn't get enough of it. I love playing games, talking about games, watching about games, pretty much anything you can think of. I love gaming as a whole, like the business, the people, the community behind it. It's just a really interesting business to me, so that I just can't get enough of it. Like, I'm gonna show you how much I love gaming in this documentary, and I hope you enjoy. This is my gaming room where I come to play games. Here's my GameCube and Wii games. Over here I got PS2, PS3, Xbox 360, Nintendo 64 and Wii. And then over here in my cupboard I've got more games such as PS2 games, Wii games, PS3 games, Xbox 360 games, PS1 games, DS and 3DS games, Nintendo Switch games, GameCube games, N64 games, Dreamcast games. Pretty much what you can think of, I have it in my collection, and I've been collecting for 18 years now. I love all kinds of series. I love Kingdom Hearts, Legend of Zelda, Persona, Half-Life, Final Fantasy, but Mario and Sonic will always be my two favourites. I just can't pick between the both of them. I wanted to get other people's history with games, so I went to the gaming department and asked some of the gaming students their history with games. What is the first game you can remember playing?
That's an old one. I think this was when I had my PS2 for the first time. My fondest memory would be of Star Wars Bounty Hunters. That was a brilliant game of mine. I was a big Star Wars fan when I was younger.
What is your most fondest gaming memories?
I'd probably say Minecraft. Probably say Minecraft because it was the first game I was ever taught how to play, and it was with my dad who I'd learnt. He introduced me to essentially the world of games, and I've just always had fond memories playing it. It's very short and easily. It's just, yeah, like, and especially gameplay as well. Stealth isn't this clunky, and it's too easy because the characters, like the enemies, you can walk right by them, and it's too easy to get by.
When you're a gamer, you need to know what type of games you love, whether it's platformers, RPGs, adventure games, racing games, shooting games. Personally for me, platformers are my bread and butter. I think the reason why me and so many other people out there find comfort in video games is because they can take you out of your world and you can just be there for like a few hours or even just under an hour, and you can escape to places that you've never been before. I also decided to interview the owner of the retro gaming store to get his history on video games. This is Steve, the guy that owns the Retro Giant in Romford, and I'm going to ask him a couple questions. So, what made you open a retro store here in Romford?
Right, basically, I was only 16, wanted to leave school and earn some money, so I used all my games, because I used to play a lot of games, so I used my own collection to start a store up, see how it went, and then I done that for about 2 or 3 years, see a shop come up in Hackney, took that on, got a bit of help from my parents and stuff like that, opened that, and I've been doing it ever since.
Alright, cool. How long have you had this store for?
This one, we relocated here about nearly 6 years ago, so we had to kind of close the other shop just because the expense was too high, so then we relocated here because I wanted to keep it going, and I've been here ever since.
Do you still play games?
Do you still play games even though you're selling them?
I do play them, but this takes up so much of my time. I don't play them as often as I used to play them. I still get like a few hours here and there, or like a weekend if I've got all my work done here. Then I do play them, or I have like friends round and we have a little game or whatever.
Alright, why do you think retro games are as popular as they are now?
The main reason is a lot of people like the nostalgia of what they remember as a kid. They couldn't get certain games because they had to wait for birthdays, Christmases when they were younger, but now they're working and they earn money. They want to relive what they used to play when they were younger, and that's what's made it take off.
Alright, thank you for the interview.
You're welcome.
This is another gaming store I go to, which is called Game. This is where I buy my more modern games, consoles and controllers and accessories for. It's pretty nice in there and the prices are pretty good. So like, it's actually much cheaper to buy than Amazon. So I buy all my new games from Game instead of Amazon because their prices are just so much better compared to that of Amazon. But I just really love Game as a whole. I've been going to it for years. Here is another place I like to go to buy my games, which is CEX. So CEX is pretty much a second-hand DVD and games store, and the prices they have are really good. But they're really cheap. There are some things that are more expensive, but that's only because they're rarer things. Can't get anymore. Like there's some games that sell for like 60 quid. Like even like the older games, because the newer games in there that they have are like more expensive than the older ones because they're still being produced, so they want to get the money that person paid. I don't mind it personally because there's like a new game I want that's not in set in game. I could easily go to set see if they have it or not. Really thankful for. Here is where I want to talk about a few games that I play and I have a lot of fun with. Here's one which is Kingdom Hearts for the PS2. Personally, I think it's a really good game, and what I like about it is it's a crossover with Final Fantasy and Disney characters because this was made by both Square Enix and Disney. So I like that you explore different Disney worlds and you have different Final Fantasy characters such as Cloud, Titus, and many more. But you also get a lot of different characters from Disney worlds like Tarzan, Hercules, The Nightmare Before Christmas, etc. But it's all around a really good RPG. Another good RPG speaking about now is Persona 5 Royal, which is also a really good RPG. It's really unique, honestly. Like it's like a life-changing experience. Like I've not played much of it myself, but how much I have played so far, it's a really good game. A casual game that I can enjoy alone or with friends or family is Mario Kart. Mario Kart is so fun with friends and family because it's just an easy kart race to pick up and play, and it's just simple. Really, it's simple, wacky, and fun. In terms of the adventure/action games, Legend of Zelda is usually my go-to, where it's basically you go around a land, enchanted land. Well, not enchanted, but like a land called Hyrule. Well, in this case, in the game I got, it's a different world. It's like a parallel universe to Hyrule, which is Termina, and where you have to stop the moon in 3 days. So yeah, even though there are lots of games that I do personally enjoy myself, there are games such as this one, which is Shadow the Hedgehog. And don't get me wrong, because I love the Sonic series, but Shadow the Hedgehog is not a good game at all. That's mainly because you have to play it 10 different times, and the story is all over the place. It's not good. The controls suck. The missions are ridiculous in it. Yeah, it's not really that fun of a game, even though there are some good elements. There's actually a game that is a guilty pleasure of mine, which is Sonic the Hedgehog, or Sonic 06 as it's referred to. This game it is unfinished, but for the good elements it does have, such as the music, the characterization of characters like Shadow, for example, is like some of the best that the series has had. What else? If the game was given more time, it could have been like amazing, but it just wasn't. It was rushed out for the 15th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog, which is just abysmal. It turned out like this, but I'm kind of glad it is a failure, because we can look back at it now more fondly, I guess, even though it really does have some bad elements in it. So yeah, speaking of that, I've got a few other people to interview that do like games, and here's them right now. I decided to interview my good friend Alex Kilman about his history of games, because he's a big gamer too. What was your first console that you ever played?
The first console I ever played was the Wii. I believe I got that back in 2009. I was only 3 years old at the time.
Alright, what is your favourite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time?
Yes.
I don't really have a favourite specifically, but games that I like playing nowadays are Fortnite, Overwatch, Persona 5, games like that.
Alright, do you have a least favourite game?
Not really, no. I unironically like bad games like Wii Music, so I don't really have a least favourite game.
Alright, thank you for this interview.
You're very welcome.
The gaming business over the years has gotten way bigger as gaming has become more accepted. Like a couple of decades ago, it wasn't accepted into the mainstream, but now it is, and I'm very happy that it has become. Game on, gamers, and thank you for powering on.